Attention! This video is my opinion on the Tascam Studio Bridge. My opinions might or might not align with your opinions. That doesn't mean either of us is wrong, but our needs are different. We can still be friends. Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well. I want to start off by saying thank you to MGoDoc. I probably got that wrong. I'm not actually sure how to say it, but you are the first member on the channel. Thank you so very much. I don't generally promote it because it's not, for me, it's not like a big deal, but because all I really do is it just gives you the ability to see the videos earlier. So if you are interested in seeing videos earlier, please join. It's I think it's like $1.99 to join, and yeah, and I'm much appreciated. And if you do join, I will give you a shout out as well. So that I just thought I would do that. So thank you very much for doing this. Today we are talking about the Studio Bridge, the new thing, the new product that came out. I think it was last week, maybe 2 weeks ago. I have gotten a few people who said, hey, what are your thoughts on this? I've gotten that on Facebook. I had it emailed to me. I had somebody on one of my other videos ask me about it. So today I am talking about it. So first things first, it is an interesting device. When I first saw it, I went, that's extremely, extremely interesting. I'll get into that a bit more. So what it technically is the name is perfect. It's a Studio Bridge. The concept is that you are this is going to allow you to do something such as take your if you have a 24 track analog reel to reel, you are able to then transfer all your stuff in one shot onto either this thing or onto a DAW, into a DAW. So it's also a DAW audio interface. It has DAW transport controllers. It's not a full controller. It just does the transport part. So that's stop, record, pause, play. And then it's also a recording device, which I didn't even realize until I watched the Tascam video. I don't have one. Tascam, I don't know where I am on their radar. If they want to send me stuff, I will gladly look at it and play with it and review it for them. I have no problems with that. I would love to do that if they wanted to do something like that. And honestly, I would probably do it for nothing as long as they just supplied me the product. And then I would say, okay, this is what it does. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. You know, that to me would be an awesome job. So either way, so getting back into this, so I'm going by the manual and the video that they released. So it's like a pared down Model 2400. It's missing a lot of it's got the core functions, but it's missing a lot of the bells and whistles that you'll find on the model series of devices, but that's beside the point. So now I looked at the dimensions, so I'll just pull up the picture here for you. Let me just get over to the picture. There we go. All right, so this is a picture of the Studio Bridge, and yeah, so it is, so width-wise, it is 17.5, so that means it could fit in a rack, or like a rack system. Are they going to offer brackets for it? I don't know. And so it depth-wise, so let's just go to the next picture. I think I got, yeah, there we go. So depth-wise, or not depth-wise, width-wise, no, height-wise, it is 3.64 inches. And then depth-wise, so from top to bottom in this picture here, it is, 10.61, which works out to be about 17 rack units. No, not 17, 7 rack units. My numeric dyslexic is taking over here. So it can go into a rack. Are they going to do that? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to offer anything. I'm just saying that it is possible. So now my first glance when I saw it, I was like, oh, there's no knobs or faders anywhere on it. Like, well, there's the volume knobs here, and then you have your jog knob, but really it's a lot of buttons and not much else. And I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. And if you notice here, I'll just pull in on the inputs, you have analog USB and then meter and input. So meter would be you're listening from what you've recorded, input being the inputs in the back, and analog and USB is where you're sending it. So is it going through this? Is it going into this and then out the output side? I'll show that in a second. And so I was like, oh, okay. And when I first saw it, I didn't realize it recorded. So I didn't even, like, this part here, the SD part, I didn't even see. I was looking and I didn't see that it said multi-track recorder on the top. So it's kind of funny. When I saw it, I went, oh, okay, so it can record. That's kind of interesting. I'm still trying to find a price on this. I think I saw one that said it was under $1,000. When I say that, $999.99. That was American. I have not found a Canadian supplier. It's kind of funny because the Model 2400, the only Canadian supplier that I have seen so far, and I check all the time, is Moog Audio out of Quebec province. I'm not exactly sure where they are in Quebec, but that's the only place I've seen in Canada, or on Amazon is the only places where I've seen where you can buy it. Our biggest retailer, music retailer, Long McQuaid, doesn't even offer it anywhere, and I was surprised about that because they offer everything else. So I don't know what that means. I just know that it's not there. So that being said, let's continue on. So one thing I really liked about this is that it is a true 24 channel. There's no stereo channels. It's not like every other item where it's so many mono and then so many stereo. It is true 24. So you have 1 to 24 mono channels. And honestly, if Tascam would offer a DP 24 XL, I don't know what their next thing, MK1, MK2, which would be true 24 channels just like this, I would seriously consider buying it. I would sell my DP32 and buy that, because that to me is more useful than having a bunch of stereo tracks. Now, granted, I figured out what to do with the stereo tracks and it helps, but still, this is brilliant. So, continuing on. So, what is this thing for? Oh, no, never mind. Let's go to connections first. I'm going through my notes that I made here. So, connection-wise, it has DB25s, and these are so what you'll need to do is you'll need to go and purchase a DB25 to XLR cables for it. If you already have them, lucky you, because I've never had to buy anything like this. This threw me off when I first saw it. I did some searching, and why is the picture not showing up? Just give me a second. So I went and I did some looking online, and I found that, like, you can get 4 meters, which is it's about 12 feet. It's pretty long, and that's about $100. So you need about 6 of those. So you're looking at about $600 to get yourself DB25 to XLR. This is Canadian as well, so it'd probably be cheaper in the States. I picked Hasa because that's pretty much a decent brand. You can get male and female ones because you need 3 male cables and 3 female cables. So that would go into here. So yeah, so you have your 24 inputs, you have your 24 outputs, which is cool. You got MIDI in and out. So you have true media in and out. You have a USB B port. So this is this. I used to call this the USB printer port because that's commonly where it's used. And you have a click out. And so just for this time, because last time somebody got mad at me because I didn't know what a click out was for. So in this case, I looked it up. It just plays the click sound. So whatever sound you choose for the click, that's what it plays through here. So you can mix it into your board. And then a foot switch. What's cool about this foot switch is they now offer the ability to hook up 2 foot switches with a Y cable. So you can then program, you can set 2 different foot switches for you. So getting close to the DP24, 32, 3 pedal foot switch, which I love. So they're offering that. The one thing it doesn't do, which still annoys me, is they're not offering a punch in, like they're not offering the ability to use it to record like as a punch in. So if you set up auto punch in on the system, it doesn't do it. They still have not done that with the foot switch, because that to me is we need that. I need to be able to sit down, have my mixer sitting over here, be on the drums, hit 1 foot switch, start the thing up so I have my padding, and then I can start playing the drums, and it will start recording the drums when I'm doing that. That to me is important, and they're not. I'm surprised they don't have that option in there. They have a punch in, punch out foot switch setting, which all it does, it turns record on and off. That's not good enough. Maybe they do. I don't know. I'll have to look at it, but that is something that is important, and they're not doing that. So let's continue on here. So we've talked about all that stuff. Screen display. Let's go to the manual here. So there's the manual. This is the screen display of the Studio Bridge. It is exact replica. It's doing the same settings. So this is the model 2400. It's pretty much the same screen display. So they're using the same screen display. If you're wondering, the 24. Oh, I went and I moved it. I had it on the screen display, so it moved on me. So let's see. Let's just go to the screen display. Yeah. So here's the 24 screen display. Oh yeah, I was looking up headphones because I noticed some stuff on the Studio Bridge, and I want to see if it was on the other two. So yeah, so screen display on the Model 24 does not have the mark button, as you can see here. Got a mark button on that. It has the effects on and off, or the effects menu there. So it does offer marks, like the Model 24 does offer marking, but you have to go into the menu and do it from there. Song format has not changed. It still does the exact same. So it does the same. So you got your 4416, 24, 4816, and 24. So they haven't added any. They haven't taken away any. Beautiful. So that's still there. Let's see. So what can this thing do? So from watching their promotional video, it sounds to me like what they want. This is something for people who record in analog, and they don't want to be bugged with the DAW stuff. They just want to record in analog. And so if you're one of these lucky people who has a 24 channel analog reel-to-reel, and you want to be able to record on it and then take what you've recorded and throw it onto the system, you can do that. You can throw it onto a DAW, and then from there you can do whatever you want with it. That's fantastic. I love this fact. Or if you're one of these guys who has a studio where you want to start doing more studio live stuff, and you want to record a lot of instruments at the same time, this will work. You have 24 channels in, and you can go. And then the other side of the coin is you can record with it. Like, you can literally take it, go to, not every bar, but you can go to a bar that has a mixing board console. You can put this in between the mixing board and the and the musicians. Let me just here. I'll just this is the picture they show for this. Here we go. So you can put this thing in between. So you have all your instruments plugged in on the top here, and then this goes into your inputs on it, and then the outputs come out, and it goes to the mixing console. So if you happen to have a very large mixing console, like one of the old ones, and you can't record with it, now you can put this as a bridge in between. The other cool thing is you can also hook it up as a DAW, and then you can do a DAW that way too. So if you have one of these old mixing boards and you want to use it you want to still record with it or use it as that, here you go. You've got the ability. That's what this does. So in that regard, yes, quite cool. Now let's go into the headphones section. So if you notice on the picture, I got so many buttons open here. So just a second. Let's go back as I move back here. So you have, for your headphones here, you have one headphone. And this actually works as not only your headphones, but also your monitor output. So everything is going through this little guy here. So if you want to hook up studio monitors like speakers, you need to get yourself a Y cable, just like you would to hook up the 2-foot switches. So you need that for both. So you don't have the option of having both headphones and monitor outs. So that's kind of a drawback, but for what it does, it's still kind of cool. So all the controls for the headphones are internal. When I say that, I mean you have this little screen here. Let's pull this thing out again. This little screen here, that's where your head. That's where everything is. That's where everything gets set on this thing. That's why there's no knobs on it. They also have this little spot up here above each of the things. You can see they have a little blank square. You can use tape, and you can label. That's so that you can label your what you're doing, like what's on that track. So that's neat as well. Sorry. Oh, my voice is getting rough now because I'm talking so much. So let's go back to the headphones for a second. All controls of the headphones are internal and even allow the user to select between listening to all the inputs and only inputs that are getting recorded. So in the menu for the headphones, there is a section which says input selection. So you can say, I want to listen to all of them. Or if you want, you can say just the ones that I've turned the record button on, and that's all I want to listen to. So that is kind of interesting as well. So you can just literally select, I only want to listen to the ones that I've recorded. So it also has a solo monitoring function, which is also internal, and it allows you to select which channels you want to listen to on a solo basis. And it also has like a little, you can actually set how loud it is, so you can mix it in. So you can say, well, this one I want to hear more of than this one. And you have stereo monitor, which allows you to listen to this is kind of cool too. So stereo monitor. So since they don't offer stereo tracks, they have a stereo monitor function, which allows you to listen to two side-by-side tracks as if they were stereo. So if you had a keyboard plugged into, let's say, 7 and 8, you could actually listen to it as stereo. Go and you just set your stereo monitor to say 7. I want to listen to 7 and 8, see how it sounds, and then it will play it to you in stereo. So everything else would be mono, in stereo. That's how that would work. I didn't see anything that says if you could mix the channels left and right. I'm hoping you can, because it would be kind of weird if you couldn't. But either way, that's in there as well. And then it has an auto monitor function. This one I read and I thought was kind of weird. I don't know if I got this correct, so I'm saying that now. If you set the auto monitor, it will only play, you'll only get sound through it when the record button is down. which like when you start recording, it will not do it. You won't hear anything in between, so you can't fiddle and faddle with it. It won't play. So it was really weird. I don't know if I got that right, but that's what it said for auto monitoring. So if you just want to hear it when you're recording, then that's what you would use. Input functions. So once again, because when you look at this, you're going, well, how do I set things on this? So normally we're used to seeing like a little gain or trim knob for each input. That's internal as well. So yeah, so you have the ability to go in and set the gain, and it goes up by 0.5 dB steps. So you can go in and say, I want it to be 1.5, 2.5, or whatever, up to 12, and it's plus or minus. So you can go minus 12, plus 12, and same. It also offers in the menu the ability to switch the phase for each input. So if you're one of these guys who, on the Model 24, I'm not sure if 2400 has this ability. I should look that up. If you want to change the phase from normal to inverted, you can do that on this. You can switch and say, I want these certain inputs to be inverted. That's a nice little feature if you need that. And then it also has an output pad. It has an input pad as well, so headphone pad for how loud it is. And so you can do a plus or minus. No, you can only do a minus. So you can drop it to minus 24 dB in 1 dB step. So you can't go 0.5 in this case. So the other thing that it offers, which once again, I made a big stink about this because this should also be offered on the 24, 16, and 12. It should be on all of them, not just these 2 devices, which is the new meter monitoring app, which allows you to show all the meters on a screen, on a computer screen, so that you can see where you're at without having to look at that little screen there. That should be on all of them. That's my opinion on that. Really annoys me that they're not doing that. They should be doing that. So now my final thoughts on this. This is not something that I would use, but I have friends who could actually use this. I have a friend, he's got a huge old mixing board that he currently uses with a Tascam rack-mounted 8-input audio interface. This is exactly what he needs. This would be perfect for him because he could route it in and then route it out, and he could hook it the way that he wants it. He could hook it up. This would be perfect for him. This is not something that I would end up using because I don't need it. I have everything else. I would rather once again have my faders and my my knobs and that. So this wouldn't fit for what I need. Now, as I said with the 2400, I love it. I feel it's a little expensive. It's a little out of reach for me. It has features that are cool that I could use, but if I were to move to the studio that I want as opposed to what I have, then that would be considered. And once again, if I would move to the studio that I want and I had the option between a 2400 and this, I'd probably go for the 2400. Sorry, mainly because with this I would need to go out and get extra items, and I don't want to do that, and I don't want to work on a DAW. As you know, I'm not a DAW person. So that's my video today. I hope this helps you out. I tried my best to get as much information as I could without going really deep. One thing I will say is, so recording wise, it pretty much offers all the same functionality as a Model 24, 2400. It's the same functionality as the Model series already has. So recording wise, it's pretty much the same. But it is, like I said, it's an interesting idea. Reminds me of Microsoft came out with a thing called BizTalk back in the 2000s, which the concept was to it was middleware, and it was like a go-between device, which would take in information from one source, convert it over, and then send it over to another source. So that's what it was. It would be a server that would just do that. And I actually I developed stuff that would for that, because we had a client who needed this. So it's pretty much the same thing. It is a niche product, I will say that. So if I hear about it coming up in Canada and where, I'll let you know. At the moment, I don't know. So hope you have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.